Hi everyone. Once again, my name is Christopher Peters. It's been a while since I last posted. The reason is because I took on a job at a big four consulting firm called Deloitte, and I've spent the last couple years deploying DevOps and other cloud projects end to end. So it's taken a lot of my time. I finally had a little bit of time to come up for air today, and I thought I'd kind of distill a little bit of what I've seen the past couple of years and the 18 years before then into a nice little compact video. So what I want to do here is do another end-to-end DevOps deployment to kind of show you how easy this really is. And by that I mean it's easy to deploy to Azure through Azure DevOps, but it can be kind of daunting for an engineering team just to try to do it the first time. Um, as DevOps becomes integrated into organizations, and as organizations shift everything to the left, not only do your developers have to understand DevOps, but your other teams have to as well. Your administrators are increasingly not able to do their tasks directly through a point and click portal. They have to use the DevOps pipeline. Your security features have to be pushed in at the development level because um, your developers are now deploying infrastructure as code. You can't enforce security rule sets unless you are inserting those rule sets at the development level. So that's where this whole shifting X to the left comes from, shifting security to the left, shifting process to the left. What that really means is shifting everything into a repository with branches, pull requests, and approval process, and then shifting it into build pipelines where you create secure artifacts based on validation and testing, and release pipelines, which which is where the deployments happen, and the whole approval process around that. And it sounds kind of scary, but really it's better for your organization. And once people get used to it, they'll never understand how they got things done beforehand, because no more willy-nilly changes, no more no more outages based on an engineer doing something they shouldn't have done. Everything will have to be approved. Everything can be easily merged into a master branch after vigorous testing. And once that's done, you can just make your deployments at any time you want. Regular deployment, weekly, doesn't matter. They'll just automatically get pushed. Without further ado, let's go on to the actual DevOps exercise I want to do today. So this exercise starts with a blank project. And all I'm going to do is end-to-end deploy a ARM template, but I'm going to do it through a script. Instead of deploying an ARM template using the built-in pipeline operations, I'm going to just create a script that executes that command and deploys it. So let's do that. So this exercise is it's going to be simple. We're going to go through the whole process. So let's get started. This is going to just teach you how to do what you need to do, anything you need to do in DevOps, the basics of it. Once you know how to do this, you can pretty much do anything. So I'm going to start clicking around, and I'm going to, as rapidly as possible, go through it. And I've started this blank project, has no repos or anything. So I'm just going to go in. I'm not going to go into Visual Studio or anything. I'm just going to create a brand new, initialize a brand new repo. Have a new repo. So I went ahead and just dropped the files in that I want to use. I have an app service JSON file. You can grab this from the Microsoft GitHub. I have the parameters file. I just call it my web app 10. That's the only value I'm passing through. And I have a deploy PS1, which basically sets the template file information, creates a new resource group if one doesn't already exist, and simply creates a deployment. Very simple. Azure resource group deployment, resource group name, template file, parameter file. It's really all you need. And you can make a deployment. This script could go through multiple JSON files. It could do loops. It could deploy to multiple resource groups, whatever you want. It's a script. I mean, you can do whatever you want. This one's PowerShell. You can do the exact same thing in Python, CLI, whatever. So it's very powerful. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and create a build pipeline so that we can create a secure artifact for the release pipeline. So I'm going into pipelines. I'm clicking create pipeline. I'm using our Azure repo, creating a starter pipeline, and all I'm going to do, I'm not going to mess around with this. I'm just going to add a task at the bottom. It creates a pipeline artifact. I want to publish it to the Azure pipelines. So you can see I have the option to publish to Azure pipelines or a file share. I'm just going to publish to Azure pipelines, and I'll name it whatever I want. This one's called Web App Artifact. There we go. Just adds the task at the bottom of the file. I have this triggering off a master. I don't have any extra branches. We'll cover branches in another video, and I'll show you how cool using multiple branches for deployments really is, and how it can save your company a lot of trouble. So I'm just going to save this and run it. Should not take that long at all. As soon as it finishes the build, you'll see an artifact underneath the related field. Basically, you'll be able to go see that artifact and see what you actually published. And there it is, it's done. Next thing I have to do is go into releases. I have to create a release pipeline. Okay, so I'm just going to start with an empty job. I'm going to call this stage web app. I'm not going to get fancy here. Going to make sure I add an artifact based off what we built. Very easy. Just select your build pipeline. I'm going to make sure I only build off of master. Default is master, but I want to make sure. This is a very powerful tool to specify your branch for your release. So you can do a lot of testing in non-master branches and then merge to master with approval processes and code reviews to make sure the only time you deploy something is when it goes into master. Add that, and I'm going to go into this web app. I'm going to fix the agent to go to Ubuntu. I'm going to add a new agent task. It'll be Azure PowerShell. Maybe I should type it correctly. I'm going to choose my service connection. This should be an SPN you set up ahead of time with just the least amount of privilege possible. Script path will be the path to the script I wrote. And then the script arguments, resource group name, my group 1. Location, West US. Working directory, the working directory of the artifact on the local agent. That's it. That's all it needs. So once I have that, I'm just going to make sure I choose the latest installed version of PowerShell. Click Save. And create release. You can see live that I created a new resource group called my group 1. I gave it some maybe not so professional tags, but oh well. And right now it's probably running the resource creation script, which should take about 2 minutes. I'll speed up the video. Well, didn't even take 2 minutes. Here we go. All right, I see the output. I see my web app. It is done. Let's go validate. Oh, there's my group 1 resource group. And here we go. I have a web app deployed. So there you go. I just deployed something using a script by passing in parameters that normally might be deployed using the ARM template task. And I showed you a little bit more about build and release and how important build is. And just to go over that one more time, you gotta have a build. You've got to publish your artifact because it secures your artifact and tags it to a specific branch so that somebody can't just create their own branch and deploy whatever build they want. So this is great. That's it. There you go. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get a repo operations video posted, which will talk about branch methodology, show you how cool I'll build off of this, and how cool it is to test off of different branches, merge the code into master, and then deploy off of master maybe to production or however you want to do it, because it's your shop. Another thing, I want to make sure that this is geared towards non-developers too, because you will be doing a lot more of this. So that's it for today. So have a great one. Thank you everyone for watching this video.